I do like that we still have the video of the first time that we did anything.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I still got it. So we did start the way that she said, and we just kind of. I was actually really surprised when you were like, "Do you want to practice like more than just like right before we go on stage?" Because that was like the version of practice I had been dealing with for years with other musicians I had worked with, and then we just actually started collaborating. And then, I mean, you're a writer and a poet, and it was very easy to want the desire to start writing our own songs was like right on the tip of everybody's tongue, I think.
So, Sheena, how did you feel when somebody started to recognize that you had talent and actually wanted you to be with them and perform?
I still don't get it. But like I said, like I'm very appreciative. I feel like Steve and I work really well, and the band worked like really well together as well. I don't take compliments very well, honestly.
You're a good deflector.
See?
I've gotten really good at looking down and blushing and walking away from anybody that says anything nice to me. It's probably my top 3 best.
Well, here's something that we always suggest. When somebody says something nice about you, simply say thank you.
I can't do that. I can say thank you, look down, blush, and run away. Like I'm very good at it.
Sheena?
Thank you.
Okay. So the idea is if you get more comfortable with the sound of your own voice and to say thank you, even though you're thinking that you're out of your body when you're saying that. So really and truly, when somebody's giving you a compliment and you're deflecting it, isn't that disrespecting them a bit?
Sometimes I think that it does. I was at an open stage about a week ago, and I put my head down and ran away as I do. But I did notice like people were like, "Hey, that was a good set. It was a good set," and I was like, I really just want to run away and like have nobody see me until I've had a chance to like breathe, and then I start thinking like, "Oh yeah, that was probably really rude when that person said you did great," and I just ran the other direction. And I try to circle back and be like, "Hey, I wasn't trying to be rude. I'm just like the worst person at most things." So it does involve a lot of extra work to circle back and apologize to people for being nice to you.
Mm-hmm. You bet.
For sure.
So the first time that I heard Sheena sing, obviously she didn't sound like a bag full of tin cans being rattled around. All right. Yeah. So
that's the first thing I noticed.
Well, I immediately recognized.
It doesn't sound like me at all.
This girl has a really fine voice, and she projects, and I really, especially when she really starts to belt it out.
I love that. Yeah, Mercy. That's like try to save it for that.
Yeah,
it's so good.
That's really excellent. So, and I've heard your playing before. I've heard your guitar playing, and you two mesh quite nicely. The Shadow, I'm not familiar with that.
Well, he is the subject of another podcast. And I mean that with all love and respect to him. He's an absolutely talented.
Was that the person on those YouTube videos that you sent me, Sheena?
He sometimes played the drums for us. Yeah.
Yeah, he's played the drums. Kristen was our drummer. Just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's also like
yeah, no, they're like our band had like a very like fun story. It just kind of just happened and then gradually just kept happening. Like his roommate Kristen was just we were having practice and she saw Shadow's drum box and was like, "This is pretty cool." And she had turned out to have like a natural sense of rhythm. And then like a couple of weeks later, she had her own drum box. And then like a couple of weeks later, she was in the band. And like that was like a really cool progression. And
we were very good therapy for her. She was going through a rough time at that time, and she was just kind of living in her room, and we kind of got her out. It was really cool. It was really nice to see her be happy.
Yeah.
Doing something outside. That was a really cool time.
So what we like to do is we like to talk about people who, by their own actions, assist others. Mm-hmm. And can you recognize that you did okay?
I did okay.
Okay.
I did okay.
Is that all right? Can we just say okay?
We can say okay. Yeah, I will stay here and not run away.
Okay.
We'll have to send her a post-band survey.
Yeah. Is your life better for having done this? Like having gotten drunk with us?
So where are you two at right now with the music?
Well, I know that we did dissolve the Shadow Puppets, but I haven't thought of a new name yet for just us. Are we going with Kitty Loaf?
I like Kitty Loaf.
I think, yeah, Kitty Loaf is where we are now. It's just the two of us for the time being.
Do you have anything coming up?
Well, you have this podcast we're going to be on.
Okay.
We're going to do a couple songs for
Well,
that.
then you'll hit the top of that right after that.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait,
No,
for
I think that we're both kind of in a place. I do my own kind of Spanish guitar, sort of flamenco style. I like to pretend that I can. Anyway.
Okay.
I know there's at least the guy who taught me is very good, and when I stand next to him, I'm like, I don't think I know how to play this instrument at all. But I know I'm just kind of doing that stuff a little bit here on the side, and I've got like my own, my physical therapy, my job and stuff for the time being. And I know you're busy right now, so I don't think we're actively musicking.
We're not
so
actively musicking. Well, like I only want to do it when like one like we're both available, and two, it's fun for both of us.
That was a big contention towards the end of the band. It was just infinitely impossible to get 4 people in the same room together, especially like you were coming from Brookline and then Millvale, and then our drummer moved out and she moved to Beaver County and then got a dog, and it just was
Life continues to happen, Steve.
Going on.
Life continues to happen, and life is like a ocean with many currents in it, and at times we intersect and we travel together, and then we travel apart. I'm sure that there's many people in your life, Sheena and Steve, that you have no animosity toward, you have no ill feelings toward, but the currents just aren't flowing together anymore. So the whole idea is when those currents are together to make things happen. And it sounds like in this particular time in both your life, your currents are flowing in the same direction and side by side, and you're making something happen.
Yeah, I think once we have like the goal is, once we are, as you said, if it's fun, if we've got the time and we don't have to like struggle against the current of life, then yeah, absolutely. And today was a really good day for that, I think.
Yeah.
So no, I think I hopefully speak for both of us. I do want to do more music stuff, and I found actually a very cringeworthy box full of half-written lyrics a week or 2 ago.
Cringeworthy.
Cringe. Oh, just really like stuff that I wrote when I was probably 25, and I was much less articulate.
Maybe, perhaps someday, if you two could put down the club that you're beating yourself with, it might be a good idea. You look like a compassionate guy, and I know Sheena is. So if you really don't care about yourself, have some compassion for the club. Can you do that? Have some compassion for the club. Put it down every now and then. Give it a little bit of a rest. Let it heal.
My club is bespoke. It's very like unique.
So before we move into the performance aspect of this, which I certainly hope everyone's looking forward to, I'm just fascinated by this Miss Macross versus Batman.
Oh, yes. That is my book. Oh, man. Miss Macross versus Batman is a chapbook. Chapbook is a small, often hand-bound book, usually a limited print run. Some people like self-publish their own chapbooks. I have a big collection of chapbooks from like writers like all across the city, and it usually like marks like a moment in your life when like you had a lot of feelings, and they all had the same theme basically, and you put them all in one thing. And Miss Macross versus Batman was one of those things. I submitted it to a small press in New York called the Cringeworthy Poets Collective, actually.
Some stuff for them.
Steve belonged to that organization?
Soon.
It's a really cool press, and I submitted to them in last April, and then last June I got an email, and it was an acceptance, and I just kind of looked at it, and I just walked away, and I went back over, and I called my boyfriend over, and I was like, can you read this? Because I don't think this is real. And then like 2 months later, I had the book release, which was really fun, and I think you opened, didn't you?
Yeah, I played there, like I said, the flamenco kind of stuff that I like to do.
Yeah.
It went over pretty well.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
We had our book release at the Garfield Art House. Liz Victory was an amazing host.
Yes.
And it was this really nice, like, just little affair of, like, poets and musicians. Just hanging out and sharing art. But, yeah, no, Miss Macross is me, and Batman is literally Batman. He is not...
So did you battle the Dark Knight?
See...
Or was it Batboy?
There's
the
really
Weekly World
only
News.
one reference to Batman in the whole thing.
Mhm.
And yeah, my large like introduction is just that I am Miss Macross, and I believe that I could beat Batman in a fair fight. Emphasis on fair. It has to be a fair fight. Like no billionaire weapons like
Mhm.
fight.
Okay. Okay.
And no, it's really honestly just not about Batman at all.
Mhm. Okay. So could you share with us a little bit about what this struggle is?
Yeah, so it covers a lot about like my first few years living in Pittsburgh. I wasn't supposed to land in Pittsburgh. I was accepted into grad school in Chicago and didn't go. I stayed in this area with my then boyfriend. The relationship turned like very unhealthy and caused me like a lot of trauma, and I did not have a way to process that trauma, and I lived in a city where I knew no one. So I spent a lot of time writing and like working through that, and it was really like my only like outlet too, because I didn't have health insurance at the time, which is like really bad. Cause like, yeah, I had like a broken leg, or not a broken leg, I had a broken foot and a broken ankle, and like just like really bad like depression and processing like really like messed up things, and like just didn't have anyone. So like it's really just like a lot of poems like covering me like slowly like being more open about that, and just kind of being more comfortable with that part of my life happened, and now that part of my life is over. So now I can like have that chapbook as like an artifact of that period.
And this is exactly the type of thing that we want to present to people, to show, okay, here was a person in this dark spot of her life, and here's what she did. So it's inspiration. It's just like a guidebook. Some of the things may work for some people, some of it may not. But the idea is that a lot of it worked for you, and through some trial and error, you learned some things that did work, and a lot of things that didn't.
I learned don't move to a city you don't know. Someone else. Especially if you don't know them that well. And also, in retrospect, really should have had more Batman in the chapbook. So, it's about that.
Well, maybe perhaps there'll be a sequel.
Oh my gosh.
Versus the Justice League.
Oh no.
The Riddler, the Joker, the Penguin. Maybe you can fight Catwoman also.
I was about to say, I might just like expand through the DC universe. Like, I might just do like Wonder Woman next.
Well, the whole idea is that what we're hearing about is your creativity and your imagination.
You could go through Image Comics and fight Spawn.
Oh man.
So what you're using is your own life experience to generate these type of things and put out there.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Actually,
it's
exactly.
a wonderful thing. So remember, there's probably some young ladies, some young fellows out there that are reading these type of things and maybe gaining some experience from them and saying, hey, maybe I can do this too.
Hopefully. I've had a lot of responses, like a lot of sweet friends. Like I've had a lot of good like support, especially from like old friends who I haven't like physically seen in person in years, who have ordered it online and read it. And what I was not thinking before publishing it and sharing it with everyone was that some of those people didn't know about the stuff that I was writing about, which then like turned into like a whole series of other things. So they learned. And it was things about me that they didn't know, and that's been weird. That's definitely been weird.
So how far do you have to be backed into a corner before you admit that you're talented? What type of pressure does somebody have to put on you? How many tons of slabs of concrete blocks do we have to put on you before you admit you're talented?
I think it would work better with less pressure.
More weight.
No. I am a witch.
Oh no, that's hot.
So this is when
good shot back.
this is when we talk about these I am statements. I'd love for you to say, I am talented. I am a good writer. I do have a fine voice. I'm a good friend. I'm a good teacher. I am a mentor. And all those things are true, Sheena.
Thank you.
I'd love for you to say them yourself. I'm glad you said thank you. And the same thing goes for Steve. Absolutely. It's been it's so good to have you on there, and we'll have our continuing conversations. I hope our relationship continues. We just got introduced to Mr. Steve here this evening, and we're looking for some more chapters and episodes in this saga.
I would like to say one thing if we're still going strong. To clarify the energy statement earlier, I think that the best way to describe like when we met and when I was like, oh yeah, this is someone that is chill, and I like their energy. It was, I knew I could just kind of be Steve around you. I didn't have to be like worried about. I wouldn't want to say worried about what I would say, but like I can just be myself. I don't have to be a censored version of myself, and that was one of the things I really liked. And I was like, this is someone I want to hang out with more. And I don't have to like act around.
That makes me happy to hear.
I think that is a much better thing than like whatever it is I said earlier that I've tried to delete from my brain.
So what you're saying is, Steve, you could be your authentic yourself around
Exactly.
Miss Sheena.
Yeah, I don't have to
without fear of being judged or.
Absolutely.
How's it feel to hear that, Miss Sheena?
It feels very nice.
Can you say thank you to Mr. Steve?
Yes, thank you.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Okay. So I hope everyone sticks around for the performance. I certainly am. However, at the end of every podcast, what we like to do is give a free prescription, which is fruits, nuts, and vegetables. Unplug your television and take up fishing. And for a truly mindful experience, we suggest that you fish without bait. Do your kindness to yourself, do a kindness for another. Forgive yourself, forgive another. Till all are free, none are free. Namaste.
Please check out our website at fishingwithoutbait.com, where you can listen to the show, comment on our discussions, and find out where you can subscribe to our podcast. If you're interested in flying the colors of Fishing Without Bait, click the shop icon on our website. We have clothing, mugs, cell phone cases, and so much more. Show the world that you fish without bait. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.